Hey there, coin collectors and accidental treasure hunters, do you know that jar of pennies sitting in your kitchen? Yeah, the one you've been ignoring for years. Well, it might just have a hidden millionaire inside. Today, we're diving into the story of the 1965 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yup, that humble copper coin could be worth up to $3 million in the current market. That's right, $3 million. That's a life-changing payday for something you could find in your couch cushions. Before you toss your pennies in a Coinstar machine, stick around because I'll explain why this coin is so valuable, how to spot it, and what makes collectors go absolutely wild for it. Trust me, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. Okay, let's start with the basics. The 1965 Lincoln penny is already a classic. It was minted during a transitional period when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with coin materials and designs. But what makes this specific penny special is the lack of a mint mark. Usually, pennies minted in Philadelphia would be marked with a tiny P, but for some reason, a select few 1965 pennies skipped that step. Oops! Here's the kicker, because so few of these no mint mark pennies were made, they've become the holy grail of coin collecting. Think of it like a golden ticket from Willy Wonka, except instead of candy, you get cold hard cash. Now, here's where it gets personal. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my old desk drawers, you know, the ones full of random stuff you keep just in case. I found this small tin of coins from my childhood. I kid you not, my first thought was, hey, maybe I've got one of those valuable pennies. Spoiler alert, I didn't. But what I did find was a Canadian dime and a couple of Chuck E. Cheese tokens, so, win some, lose some, right? But here's the thing, people do find these rare coins. There's a guy who found one in his grandpa's collection and sold it for millions. Can you imagine explaining that to your family? Sorry, I can't come to the reunion. I'm busy buying a yacht with grandpa's penny. So, how do you know if you have the penny? Grab a magnifying glass or zoom in with your phone camera. First, check the date, it should say 1965. Then, look below the date for the mint mark. If there's no P or any letter at all, you might have struck gold, figuratively, of course. Condition is everything. If your coin has been through the ringer, scratched, tarnished, or chewed on by a teething toddler, it probably won't fetch top dollar. But even a moderately good condition coin can be worth tens of thousands. And a pristine one? That's your $3 million ticket. So, what's the moral of the story? Never underestimate your spare change. Your next $1 million find could be sitting in your car's cup holder right now. If you've got a stash of pennies lying around, now's the time to give them a second look. Who knows? You might just be the next millionaire thanks to a little copper disc. What if I told you that buried somewhere in your pocket change could be a penny worth $2.8 million? Yep, that's right, a single, humble penny. The 1967 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is creating some serious buzz. Imagine flipping over a couch cushion, finding a penny, and realizing it's your ticket to early retirement. Sounds like a dream, right? But it's real. Let's dive into what makes this coin so valuable and how you might have one sitting in your jar of forgotten change. Back in 1967, the U.S. Mint wasn't putting mint marks on pennies. Why? Well, they wanted to cut down on coin collecting shenanigans during a national coin shortage. It's like when you hide chocolate from your siblings, they were just trying to keep things in circulation. Now, the 1967 penny itself isn't rare, they made millions of them. But here's the kicker, a few of these pennies were struck on experimental planchets, which is just a fancy term for different metal blanks. One of these bad boys recently sold for a jaw-dropping $2.8 million at auction. That's like turning a penny into a mansion with a pool and a guest house. Here's a funny story, I once thought I found a rare penny in my change. I was so excited I practically sprinted to the nearest coin shop. The guy looked at me, looked at my penny, and said, "This isn't rare, but you've got a great imagination." Lesson learned, know what you're looking for. So, what makes this specific penny worth millions. First, the condition. We're talking about pristine, mint condition, no scratches, dings, or signs it spent years at the bottom of a junk drawer. Second, it's all about those experimental materials, which are like the golden ticket of the coin world. And finally, the rarity. Coins like these are as rare as a unicorn in a coin collection. So, here's your homework: start digging through your change jars, pockets, and maybe even grandma's old coin collection. Who knows, that ordinary penny could be worth enough to buy a luxury car, or, a lifetime supply of snacks. Imagine this: you're digging through your pocket change, hoping to scrounge up enough for a vending machine snack. You pull out a penny, ready to dismiss it, but wait, it's a 1979 Lincoln penny. Could that tiny coin in your hand be worth $2.5 million? Yes, you heard that right, million with an M. I know, it sounds ridiculous, but stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why collectors are paying big bucks for this seemingly ordinary coin and what makes it so special. Let's dive in. Okay, so here's the deal. The 1979 D penny isn't just any penny. The D stands for Denver, where this coin was minted. But don't go flipping through your jar of coins just yet. This isn't about every 1979 D penny. The one that sold for $2.5 million. It was special. Like Beyoncé of pennies special. What makes it so valuable? Let's get nerdy for a sec. This penny was graded at a perfect MS69 red by professional coin graders. That's like finding a perfectly ripe avocado. It's rare, it's flawless, and people will pay a ridiculous amount for it. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A while back, I was rummaging through an old drawer in my grandma's house. She's a bit of a hoarder. I found a jar of pennies and thought, maybe I'll strike gold, copper. I spent hours looking for rare dates. Guess what? No million-dollar penny. But I did find a coin worth $20, which got me a pizza, so, still a win, right? Here's how you can spot your million-dollar penny. First, check the condition. It has to look brand new, like it just came off the press. Then, check for errors. Some of these high-value coins have minting mistakes, like double dies or off-center strikes. These quirks make collectors drool. Now, before you go tearing apart your couch cushions, let me sprinkle in some reality. The chances of finding a $2.5 million penny are, well, slim. But that doesn't mean you can't find valuable ones worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars. And hey, it's like playing the lottery, but without losing any money. Alright, folks, here's the takeaway. That 1979 D penny is proof that big value can come in small packages. So, take a closer look at your pocket change. You never know, your next Starbucks trip could turn into a ticket to early retirement. You're digging through an old jar of pennies, the one collecting dust in the back of your closet, and you find one that could change your life. That's right, a single penny worth $2.30 million. Today, we're talking about the 1985 D Lincoln penny. It's not just a piece of copper, it's a potential jackpot hiding in plain sight. So, grab your change jar and stick around because this story might make you a millionaire. The 1985 D penny, minted in Denver, is one of those coins that most people overlook. I mean, who's really inspecting every penny they come across? Spoiler alert, you should be. Here's what makes this penny so special: it's a rare error coin. And collectors? They go absolutely bonkers for errors. We're talking about mistakes like double dies, off-center strikes, or even planchet flaws. Think of it as finding a typo in a best-selling book, only this typo is worth a fortune. Now, let me share a quick story. A couple of months ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. Classic family bonding moment, right? He had this box of old change he'd been hoarding since the 80s. While he was reminiscing about buying candy for 25 cents, I was eyeballing a weird-looking penny. Long story short, it wasn't the 1985 D, but it was worth $250. Not too shabby for something that was chilling under a pile of dusty cassette tapes. Back to our star of the show. This 1985 D penny hit headlines when one was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $2.3 million. That's not just couch cushion money, folks, that's buy a yacht and name it penny for your thoughts money. The kicker. It wasn't even made of gold or platinum, just good oil, copper and zinc. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I know if I've got one? First, check the date and mint mark. Look for a small D below the year. Next, inspect it for errors. You'll need a magnifying glass or a coin loupe for this, don't just squint and hope for the best. And hey, if you're feeling unsure, consult a coin expert or hit up an online coin community. There are plenty of nerds like me who'd love to help you out. Oh, and let's talk about condition. Coin collectors are super picky. Even the tiniest scratch or smudge can affect value. So, if you find a promising penny, handle it like it's the Hope Diamond. Gloves, soft cloth, the whole 9 yards. Trust me, you don't want to ruin $1 million payday because you got careless. So, there you have it. The humble 1985 D penny could be your ticket to a life-changing windfall. But hey, even if you don't find one, coin hunting is still a blast. You get a little history, a little thrill, and who knows, you might stumble upon another valuable coin. Before you dash off to raid your piggy bank, let me ask you this: what's the most exciting thing you've ever found in your spare change? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories, and if you're itching to learn more about coins worth crazy money, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and tales that'll make your coin jar feel like a treasure chest. 2007 D Lincoln penny, yes, the kind you probably used to buy a pack of gum, could be worth a jaw-dropping $2 million. No, I'm not pulling your leg, and no, I haven't lost my marbles. Today, we're diving into the fascinating, slightly unbelievable story of how this little copper coin turned into a millionaire maker. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, why this coin is so special, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be digging through your couch cushions before dinner tonight. The coin we're talking about is the 2007 D Mint Lincoln penny. Now, what makes this penny so special? Spoiler alert, it's not because it had a dramatic life story like surviving a volcano or being swallowed by a shark. It's all about errors. Yup, a tiny manufacturing mistake that no one at the mint probably noticed at the time is what makes this coin a collector's dream today. Some of these pennies were minted with a unique die error. Think of it like this: the mint accidentally gave some of these coins a rare birthmark. This error makes the coin incredibly rare, and collectors are willing to fork out massive sums to get their hands on one. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine walking into a pawn shop with what you thought was a regular penny, only to find out it's your golden ticket. That's basically what happened to the person who discovered the $2 million penny. One day, they're just like, "Hey, what's this funny-looking penny doing in my jar?" Fast forward, and boom, they're sitting on a life-changing pile of cash. I mean, I'd faint if someone offered me $2 million for something I almost used to pay for parking. But hold on, before you go raiding your coin jar, there's more you need to know. The 2007 D Mint penny is only worth big bucks if it has that specific error. It could be a double die, a misaligned strike, or something funky like a lamination flaw. So, get yourself a magnifying glass and your favorite playlist because it's time to go full treasure hunter mode. Quick tip: when inspecting your coins, always look at the lettering, date, and mint mark. A doubled image or weird spacing is usually a dead giveaway that you've got something special. And if you're not sure, take it to an expert. Don't just rely on Google, or you might end up thinking every penny is worth millions. Here's the funny part: I once thought I found a rare penny. It was a 1943 steel penny, and I was so excited. I went around telling everyone I'd struck gold, only to find out it was worth, like, 75 cents. I was crushed, But hey, now I've got a cool story to tell. So, there you have it, the 2007 Mint Lincoln penny that could literally change your life. Remember, the magic is in the details. Whether it's a doubling error or some other unique flaw, that tiny mistake could mean a big payday for you. If you're now inspired to dig through your spare change, don't stop here. Hit that subscribe button and join our community of coin lovers. I post weekly tips on spotting valuable coins, tricks for selling them, and stories about the craziest finds out there. Oh, and don't forget to like and share this video with your friends. It might just be their lucky day. Alright, treasure hunters, I'm off to check my penny jar again. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your pennies be plentiful and priceless. Hey there, treasure hunters. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, meh, it's just a penny, barely worth the copper it's made of? Well, hold on to your coffee mugs because today, I'm talking about a penny so rare, it's worth a jaw-dropping $4 million. Yup, that's right, a single cent that can make you an instant millionaire. And no, this isn't some internet hoax. It's the 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know how to spot one, why it's so valuable, and what to do if you find one. Plus, I've got a funny story about how I almost gave away a valuable coin, rookie mistake. Most pennies have a mint mark, those tiny letters under the date that tell you where the coin was made, Denver, Philadelphia, or San Francisco. But in 1984, a small number of pennies were accidentally minted without that telltale P mint mark. And boy, did that mistake make these pennies rare. Why so valuable? Well, in the coin world, rarity is king. Imagine you're hosting a party and only one person shows up. That person becomes the VIP by default, right? That's basically this penny, it's the VIP of Lincoln cents. And collectors? They go bananas for these kinds of rarities, throwing down insane cash to get their hands on them. Now, you might be thinking, how do I know if I have one? First, grab a magnifying glass or just zoom in with your phone. Look at the date, 1984. Then check under the date where the mint mark should be. If it's blank, you might be holding on to something special. But wait. Before you go calling Sotheby's, make sure it's in good condition. Scratched or worn down pennies don't fetch nearly as much. We're talking pristine condition here, almost like it was minted yesterday. Here's the kicker, the current record for a 1984 no mint mark penny sold at auction. $4 million. That's right, someone literally bought a penny for more than most houses. What a flex, right? Okay, story time. A few years ago, I inherited a small coin collection from my great-uncle. Being the naive newbie I almost dumped the entire thing into a Coinstar machine. I know, rookie mistake. But something told me to take a closer look. Turns out, I didn't have anything worth millions, but there was a 1914 penny in there worth a few $100. Not bad for what I thought was loose change. So now I check every coin like a detective. And let me tell you, it's oddly satisfying. Alright, so here's your game plan, go grab that jar of pennies collecting dust on your shelf or in your car. Look for a 1984 penny with no mint mark and, who knows, you could be sitting on a literal fortune. Even if you don't find one, the thrill of the hunt is half the fun. You're digging through your couch cushions or the jar of pennies on your dresser, and boom, one penny could be worth $3.80 million. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But stick around because today, we're talking about the legendary 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny. That's right, 1 cent. Worth more than a mansion. And before you go dumping all your change onto the kitchen table, let's dive into why this coin is so special, how you can spot one, and the juicy details behind its eye-popping value. Oh, and spoiler alert, this is not your average penny story. So, what's the deal with this penny? Back in 1987, most pennies were made at the Denver or Philadelphia mints, which would leave their little D or P mark on the coin. But every now and then, the minting process throws us a curveball. enter the no mint mark coins. Here's the kicker. In 1987, no mint mark penny is like spotting a unicorn, but one that spits out $100 bills. It's crazy rare because of a minting error. Think of it like a factory worker forgot to clock in that day, and now their oops moment is worth millions. Now, you're probably wondering, how does a penny go from piggy bank fodder to a millionaire's dream? Well, rarity is the name of the game. Collectors go bananas for coins like this because they're unique, historical, and, frankly, they make a great bragging story. Imagine flexing at your next family gathering. Oh, this? Just a penny I found, worth $3.8 million. Speaking of flexing, here's a fun story. A buddy of mine once laughed when I told him to check his pennies. "What's the big deal?" he said. Fast forward 6 months, he finds a rare coin, sells it, and uses the cash to buy a motorcycle. Meanwhile, I'm still here doing this, talking about coins. Moral of the story? Don't laugh at your nerdy coin collecting friend, you might end up eating their dust, or exhaust fumes. Okay, back to business. How do you spot this golden, copper, ticket? First, grab a magnifying glass. No mint mark means no D or P under the year. Simple, right? But don't stop there. Condition matters big time. A shiny, uncirculated penny is like finding a perfectly ripe avocado. It's rare and highly prized, and about that $3.8 million price tag. That's for a mint condition, certified, top-tier example of the coin. So, unless your penny is sparkling like it just came off the press, don't go spending that imaginary fortune just yet. But hey, even in average condition, these coins can still fetch hundreds or thousands. That's still way better than, a penny. So, there you have it, the 1987 no mint mark penny, a tiny, unassuming coin with a jaw-dropping value. It's proof that treasures can be hiding in plain sight, even at the bottom of your junk drawer. Now here's your mission. Should you choose to accept it, go check your change jars, your couch cushions, and maybe even your grandma's old purse. You never know, you might just strike it rich. And if you enjoyed this little treasure hunt of a story, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more coin secrets, tips, and millionaire-worthy stories coming your way. Who knows? The next coin we talk about might be sitting in your pocket right now. What if I told you that the penny sitting in your couch cushions, or maybe even in your kid's piggy bank, could be worth millions? Yup, that's right, folks. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 2001 Lincoln penny. Not just any penny, but the one with a current market value of a jaw-dropping $3.5 million. Buckle up, because this tiny coin has a story bigger than a Hollywood blockbuster. And hey, before you toss that penny jar, you might want to stick around. This could change your life, and your wallet. Okay, so let's talk about why this penny is worth more than my first car. The 2001 Lincoln penny, minted in Denver, is a rare gem because of a minting error. You see, minting errors are like typos, but instead of embarrassing emails, they make collectors go wild. Think double dies, off-center strikes, or unique features that make a coin stand out. For the 2001 it's all about a rare doubling on Lincoln's profile and the date. It's like Abe decided to strike a pose, twice. Funny story, last year, my cousin thought he hit the jackpot with a shiny penny he found in his driveway. He was ready to quit his job and everything. Turns out, it was just a really dirty 2011 coin with a ding in it. Moral of the story? Do your homework. Not all weird pennies are created equal. So, how do you know if your 2001 penny is the one? First, grab a magnifying glass or your phone's camera and look for doubling on Lincoln's ear, eyes, and the date. Then, check the mint mark. It's gotta be the D from Denver. If you spot those details, you might have struck gold, well, copper, but you get what I mean. And if you think you've got it, don't just run to the bank. Get it authenticated by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify it, and you'll know if you're sitting on a $3.5 million payday, or just a really cool story to tell your friends at the next barbecue. So, here's the deal. Rare coins like the 2001 D Lincoln penny remind us that value can hide in the smallest places. Who knows? Your next grocery store penny might just pay for your dream vacation, or, heck, even your dream mansion. If you love discovering treasures like this, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and strategies to help you spot the coins that are worth big money. Boom, you stumble upon a penny that could buy you a mansion. Sounds crazy, right? But today, I'm talking about the 2005 Lincoln penny with NO mint mark that's making waves in the coin collecting world, worth a jaw-dropping $3.2 million. Yeah, you heard that right, a penny worth millions. Buckle up, because I'm about to spill the beans on what makes this coin so special, how you might find one, and why it could change your life forever. The 2005 Lincoln penny is your standard 1-cent piece at first glance. Nothing fancy, good old Honest Abe staring at you like he knows a secret. But here's the kicker, the missing mint mark. For most coins, the mint mark tells you where it was made, Denver, Philadelphia, or San Francisco. But this penny? Nada. Zilch. And that little detail makes it a superstar. Now, you might be wondering, why does a missing mint mark matter? Well, collectors go bananas for errors like this because they're super rare. The no mint mark indicates a wild production mishap, making these pennies one-of-a-kind collectibles. Think of it like a factory printing a $1 bill with a picture of Bigfoot. Weird, but valuable. Here's where the story gets even wilder. Back in 2008, I was cleaning out my car, you know, that awkward moment where you're scooping out old fries and sticky coins from the cup holder. I found a 2005 penny with no mint mark. For a split second, I thought, am I rich? Spoiler, I wasn't. Mine turned out to be a regular penny, but hey, I got 15 minutes of excitement in a clean car. Now, let's talk money. The current market value for the 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny is, wait for it, $3.2 million. That's not just life-changing money, that's, I'll buy an island and name it after myself, money. A collector recently paid that amount at an auction, solidifying this penny's legendary status. So, why such a high price tag? Scarcity, condition, and sheer collector frenzy. People love owning pieces of history, especially when it's rare enough to brag about at parties. Alright, so here's the takeaway, always check your change. Whether it's your couch cushions, your glove box, or that jar of pennies gathering dust, you never know what you might find. The 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be your golden ticket, or, well, copper ticket. And if you're thinking, there's no way I'd get that lucky, just remember, every millionaire penny starts in someone's pocket. Before you dive into your coin stash, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I'm here to help you turn spare change into serious cash. Let's uncover those hidden treasures together, one coin at a time. And hey, drop a comment if you've got an epic penny story or just want to say hi. Who knows? Your coin might be the next millionaire-making discovery. Well, what if I told you that same penny might be worth $3 million? Yes, you heard that right. $3 million. Today, we're talking about the 2007 D Lincoln penny, a coin that's flipping the script on pocket change. By the end of this video, you'll know why this penny is worth a fortune, how to spot one, and why you should never underestimate that pile of coins on your dresser. Let's dive in. Okay, so let's start with a little history. The 2007 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. Most pennies from this year? Pretty average. But here's the kicker, there are rare errors and conditions that make a few of these worth way more than their 1-cent face value. And when I say, way more, I mean, your retirement plan is sorted more. So what's the deal with this $3 million penny? Well, it's all about rarity and demand. Some of these coins have a minting error. Picture this, the penny was struck slightly off-center or has a double die, those are the big-ticket features collectors drool over. It's like finding a Picasso in your attic. Now, quick story. A while back, I was cleaning out an old junk drawer, and guess what? I found a 2007 penny. My heart skipped a beat. Was it the one? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But it sparked my obsession with coins. So now, I'm that person checking every single penny that crosses my path. Trust me, it's worth the effort. Now, the $3 million figure, what's the story there? A few of these pennies have been sold at auction for jaw-dropping amounts because they're in mint state. That's collector talk for it looks like it just left the mint yesterday. So, if your 2007 D penny has that new coin sparkle and some funky errors, ding ding ding, we've got a winner. Let me drop a pro tip: invest in a good magnifying glass. Seriously, they cost like $10 on Amazon, and it'll be your best friend when hunting for mint marks and errors. Oh, and don't clean the coin. Ever. Collectors want the original patina, not something scrubbed shiny with dish soap. So there you have it. The 2007 D Lincoln penny, a tiny piece of metal that could change your life. Is every 2007 D penny worth millions? No. But finding one of these rare gems is like hitting the jackpot. You ever find yourself staring at a penny and thinking, could this little guy be worth a fortune? Well, guess what? Sometimes it's not just pocket change. Today, we're diving into a coin that could literally change your life. That's right, I'm talking about the 2008 D Lincoln penny. Now, don't roll your eyes and say, it's just a penny. Trust me, this one's different. It's got a history and a value that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about small change. And by the end of this video, you'll be looking at pennies in a whole new light. So, grab your magnifying glass, because you might just have a $2.9 million coin sitting in your piggy bank. The 2008 D Mint Mark penny, in case you didn't know, was struck at the Denver Mint. It's a part of the Lincoln series, but here's the kicker: there's one particular variety of this penny that's absolutely rare. We're talking about the double die variety. Now, hold on, before you start thinking I'm just throwing fancy words at you, let me explain. A double die is a mistake in the minting process where the die that strikes the coin isn't perfectly aligned. So, when it presses onto the coin, it leaves a slight double image on the design. In the case of the 2008 D penny, this means the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions on the coin have a noticeable, double-struck look. And here's the real kicker: some of these errors are worth an insane amount of money. Now, this isn't just some random error. It's one of those coins that pops up only once in a blue moon. People have been paying up to $2.9 million for a penny like this at auction. Yep, you heard me right. A penny. That's more than some people pay for cars. Heck, I've probably spent more than that on coffee this year, but that's another story for a different time. So, how do you know if you've got one of these? Well, the first thing is to check the 2008 D pennies you've got lying around. Get yourself a magnifying glass, look at the letters on the front, especially the ones on Liberty and In God We Trust. If you notice any kind of doubling, even a slight shadow effect, you could be holding something valuable. Now, I've got a little personal story here. A couple of years ago, I was going through a bunch of loose change I found in an old drawer. Don't judge me, we all have that drawer. I was casually flipping through the pennies when I stumbled upon a 2008 D that just felt different. Not that I had a clue at the time, but I noticed a slight doubling on the Liberty engraving. I remember thinking, is this it? But I didn't think much more about it. Turns out, I had no idea what I had, and it went straight back into the coin jar. Now, I joke that I could have been a millionaire if I had just known about this penny back then. Lesson learned, folks. Don't ignore those small changes, you never know what they could be worth. So, what's the takeaway here? Always, and I mean always, take a closer look at your pennies. That humble little 2008 D could be worth thousands, if not millions. And hey, even if you don't have a mint condition coin sitting around, there's still a ton of valuable pennies out there waiting to be discovered. Flipping through a jar of change, looking for some loose pennies, maybe to toss into a wishing well or snag a cheap coffee. And then, bam! You come across something so rare, so valuable, it could make you $2 million richer. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, let me tell you about a penny that's worth more than most people's entire homes, the 2013 NO Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Now, before you go running to check every 2013 penny you've ever owned, let's slow down and get into why this little piece of copper is a serious treasure. Grab your magnifying glass and let's break it down. So, here's the deal, most pennies, including the 2013 ones, have a mint mark that tells you where they were made. You know, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, pretty straightforward. But the 2013 NO Mint Mark penny? Yeah, this bad boy came from a batch that slipped through the cracks with no mint mark at all. No P, no D, just nothing. And that tiny mistake, that little omission, is what's made it a big deal. Now, the funny thing is, if you were just casually looking at the coin, you might think it's just another regular penny. Heck, it's so easy to miss, I've almost tossed one of these myself. Imagine that, getting rid of a $2 million penny by mistake. Yeah, I could totally see that happening to me. Anyways, this no mint mark penny is part of a rare error batch from 2013. Experts believe it was likely due to a machine malfunction at the Philadelphia Mint. And because there are so few of these coins in existence, their value has skyrocketed. We're talking about a coin that was originally worth 1 cent. Now, it could go for up to $2 million. Yeah, you heard that right. $2 million. Not bad for a piece of copper. Let me tell you, I wish I had known about this before I tossed my spare change in that jar. I could have been swimming in cash by now. But seriously, the thing with rare coins like these is that they're often hidden in plain sight. Most people won't even notice the difference. You could literally be holding a small fortune in your hand right now without realizing it. Now, don't get too carried away. If you find one of these bad boys, you'll want to get it authenticated. You don't want to end up selling a fake or overpaying for something that isn't worth the hype. Always do your homework first. Cut to a quick shot of a professional coin grader at work, inspecting a coin carefully. So, what can we learn from this? Always take a second look at your change. That simple penny you almost tossed could be worth a lot more than you think. And, hey, who knows, you might just be holding onto a $2 million coin. If you enjoyed this wild ride into the world of rare coins, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. I'm dropping tips and tricks on how you can turn your pocket change into a small fortune, one coin at a time. Don't miss out on the next big discovery. I'll keep the info coming. Until next time, keep hunting those treasures. Yep, you heard that right, a single penny, worth more than most people's cars. Now, before you start rummaging through your change jar like a squirrel on a caffeine binge, let me walk you through why this penny is worth so much and how you can spot one. Stick around till the end, and I'll share a little story of how I almost threw one of these away. Yeah, talk about a close call. Okay, let's get into it. In 2017, the US Mint made some history. It's not often that a penny, a literal 1-cent coin, is worth a fortune, but here we are. So, what's the deal with the 2017 P Mint Mark penny? Well, here's the backstory. The Philadelphia Mint struck pennies with a P Mint Mark to mark the 225th anniversary of the Mint's founding. But here's the kicker, most of these pennies are still worth just 1 cent. Yep, they're all over the place in your spare change, and you've probably seen a few without even realizing it. But, and this is a big but, there's a tiny handful of 2017 P pennies that are extremely rare. We're talking pennies that slipped through the cracks during production. These errors are what make this coin worth $1 million. So, let me break it down for you. You're looking for a 2017 P penny that has a rare mistake, typically where the coin has been double-struck or has some sort of minting flaw. The result? A penny that looks different from the rest, and it's so rare that it can fetch a whopping price at auction. Now, before you go diving into the deep end of the coin world, let me tell you a little story. A few months ago, I was digging through a box of old pennies my grandpa gave me. I wasn't thinking much of it, I mean, they were just pennies, right? Then, I found one, a 2017 penny. My first thought. Ah, just another penny. I was about to toss it in the no-value pile when I remembered reading about this super rare 2017 coin. I stared at it for a minute and thought, could it be? But nope, no minting error. Still, it gave me a little heart attack, and I started imagining what I could have done with that $1,000,000. So, moral of the story, always double-check your pennies. You never know when you might find a jackpot. Let's talk about how to find these $1,000,000 pennies. First, make sure you're actually looking at a 2017 penny. If it has a P mint mark, that's step 1. Step 2 is checking for errors. Some of the most common minting errors are things like double strikes, off-center strikes, or missing details. The more off it looks, the better, and don't worry, you don't have to be a coin expert to spot these errors. With a good magnifying glass or a decent camera on your phone, you can start checking for these quirks. Trust me, it's like a treasure hunt, and the best part? You don't have to dig through sand or sift through dusty old crates to find it. Just check your pocket change. So, if you've got a 2017 penny, take a closer look at it before you toss it into the wishing well. It might just be the treasure you didn't know you had. And hey, if you've enjoyed this little coin journey with me and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of tips, tricks, and coin sleuthing strategies coming your way. Who knows? Maybe the next time you're sorting through your change, you'll find a $1,000,000 penny of your own. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting. May your pennies always be worth more than you expect.